Hello again, welcome back to Let's Play Motorsport Manager. Timix here, and we have now reached Vancouver, sort of the acid test for us as it's been so far. And practice was not particularly encouraging, especially Chapman just absolutely running away from the field, basically a second ahead of everybody else. Several other cars competitive with our drivers, even though their best time was set on softer tires. So, on the other hand, our times here on the Ultras were pretty early on when we hadn't improved our setup. We did get to level 3 on both Ultras and Super Softs, the fastest two types of tires. Didn't use the softs as some of the other drivers did. And there was no rain, so no wet tire stuff going on. Also got level 3 on qualifying and race trim. So, and in terms of the setups, we actually never quite got them dialed in. I got to the middle 90s, a little bit in the upper 90s. Didn't quite get to excellent across the board yet. So we're still going to be looking to do a little bit of tweaking in qualifying. But hopefully I can get it there before the race. So, that's where we are, but obviously getting that Chapman's lead down to 9 points going in was huge. We need to keep it there, keep gaining progress. Need to beat him in this race in order to continue moving forward, closing that gap, give ourselves a chance for Wexler to win the driver's title at the end of the year. Okay. So, yeah, Chapman's happy. Basically, and, Sharp and Lipinen behind him. So, we're sort of a little bit under the radar after that practice session. Hopefully we can increase our profile here in qualifying. And let's take a look at the weight stripping. I think this is about where we were last time, 330. We were at 240 in Milan. I mean, last time we got to Vancouver. We have the brakes and the gearbox and the engine all maxed out. Rear wing also. We are currently working on, or front wing, excuse me, we're working on rear wing development at the moment. So that's not quite finished. But not bad having 4 parts totally maxed out, with the rear wing and the suspension remaining. And a bit of unfortunate timing here for Vancouver, of course, because those are the crucial parts here. So, but you can't improve everything, and the other parts do matter as well. So it seems only logical to use the Ultra Softs for qualifying. And do want to tweak the setup. Get up to 98% with Wexler on that last set, which is nice. So we got to find a way to get the handling back in line. So that is great. That is also great. That was excellent, and then we went down just a bit. So we want to be just a little bit more oversteer. So I'm just going to try that. See how that rolls. And of course we'll be using the Ultra Softs. Alright, and let's see about Saarinen. And we've never quite gotten the downforce was really good right away, but we've never quite dialed it into excellent. It's weird. Great. Great. Good up there. So yeah, that and that weren't quite right. We've been here, here. So I think maybe we get it just a bit higher is where we want to be. Maybe about there. Of course, that's going to throw off some other things. Maybe try that. I think that's as good a try as any. Of course, there's nothing wrong with 98%, but I'd like to dial it in just as much as possible. So I think we're ready for this. And let's give it a go. Get Wexler out there first. Take a look at our weather. Looks dry. Shouldn't have to boost the tires too much. Doggone it. Just missed on Wexler's tires. Did get Saarinen's there. Looks like Saarinen is actually beating Wexler's time. Of course, you're first place. You're the first person that finished a lap. But we did beat Chapman by 0.2 of a second, and Saarinen almost beat him as well. Wow. Wexler driving really well. There's Holtz in front of us, so that didn't last very long. But of course, no surprise to have the Steinman and Scuderia teams with both their drivers in the top 4 as the first set of times come in. We're the Titans. So I'm going to wait a bit and then go back out and give it another shot a little bit later. Second and 6th after the first round. Chapman only in 5th, half a second behind Holtz. So hopefully we can do a bit better than that. Maybe hit the tires a little better. But, you know, being in the front row would definitely be just fine. I wouldn't complain about it. And Saarinen isn't looking too bad either. So I can't really, you know, be upset about any of that. Couple more minutes, guys. Be a little more patient. I want to go back out, I think, at about the 2-minute mark here. That should be enough to make sure, a little bit above 2, but that should be enough to make sure we can get around and then head out there when the grip is the best. Of course, our main competition just hanging out in the pits as well. They may have roughly the same idea. No new times coming in that are threatening any of our positions. Don't know how long it'll take to switch things up, so 2.5 we're gonna go. Okay, went down a bit to 97%. Gonna want to make some changes there. Of course, we're gonna get a fresh set of tires. Okay, great, excellent. Great. We need a bit less on the handling then. Probably not quite that far, but try that. There he goes. So we'll make some changes now to Sarnin. 99%. Totally fine. So let's wait a second before we send you out. That should be enough. Alright, perfect tires for Wexler. See if we can get Sarnin to that same zone. Indeed. So, brakes are overheated a little bit, but they're both, and Wexler at a 7.7, so did not get the best start. And now he's down to third with Chapman going faster. Come on, Wexler. Pick up the pace. Well, he did beat Chapman to get back up into the first row. So I can't argue about that. Sarnin to the finish gets up to third. He's not happy with it. Neither driver happy, but that pushed Chapman down into row 3. Every little bit helps. So it was actually Chapman's teammate, Nina Holtz, setting the standard here. but still pretty competitive. Top 5 drivers in less than half a second. So let's see if we can carry that over. I hope you guys lose. In fact, I've got money on it. That's my kind of fan right there, Timmy Gold. And Holtz is right. The real work starts tomorrow. Wired up on maple syrup and ready for some racing action. Oh dear. Old timer told me about this time in 1968 when a driver flipped his car into the lake. Soggy, so we've got interesting history there. Alright. Looks like we've got more good weather to start out in Vancouver. I'm sure the rain will come at some point. We'll be ready for it if it does. So 54 laps. Now the question is, do we want to go for super softs or ultras? That's kind of a big choice here at the beginning. I want to check the ultra softs are good for the beginning. But I'm just not super... If we take a look at... They wear out so fast. We've got to do 54 laps. And I think in order to make sure that we can handle the distance with only a couple stops, I really want to stay on the supers, not the ultras. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to select the race trim and super softs. Can do that for both drivers. Okay, now Saarinen dialed right in at 99%. No reason to change anything. Taking a lap of fuel off. That does seem to be about the right amount there. Okay, and we did get back up to 98%. We've been excellent a couple times on the speed balance there and there. That was a little bit too low. So we want just a little bit more speed. So that should be at least as good. Yeah, that should be at least as good as we are right now. We should be in that 97-98% range. Be nice to get that extra percent. It might matter, but there's only so much you can do. There we are. And of course, we're definitely going to go all out at the beginning. Would be foolhardy to expect the kind of start that we had last time. Okay, here we go. We're going to have some rain. So, looks like we're going to want to get through about 20 laps on our starting tires. And on the super softs, definitely ultras are not the right choice, knowing that. Super softs, we're not going to get that many out of them. Hope we can get close. Then maybe switch to inners a little bit earlier, but also I'm definitely going to not want to push the tires early in this race. I will have to for the first lap or two, but after that I'm going to back off as much as I can. Try to make them last that far. Okay. Wexler in second beside Holtz. Saarinen in third alongside Liepinen. And Chapman going with the Ultra Softs. He wants to get up in front right away. I think he's going to pay for that. Sharp and Vidal farther back. Gonzalez and Schmidt in the middle of the pack on Ultras. Okay. Surikov, Moreno, and everybody here over a second off the pace. Vasquez and North. DeGraff and Ribeiro. Woodford and Lundqvist, small soft tires now. And Blanc and Flores. So it's a fairly bunched pack. You see Flores there at 1.6 seconds. And that's only about half a second back of the midfield racers. It really starts bunching up from Sharp in 7th on up. So top 6, 7 drivers, top 3 rows, much ahead of the rest. And Wexler looking the best in form among anybody near the top of the grid. So let's see if he starts off well. Decent start for us. Nobody got a fast jump, and we're going to see if we can catch Nina Holtz or not. Probably not, because she's on the Ultras. So I think I'm going to try to, I will stay there. Try to back off the tires right away here. Saarinen's in more traffic. But yeah, Holtz just sprinting away, but her tires will degrade sooner. So the question is, how long will that take? Here's Chapman up to 3rd. And again, you know, with he's on Ultras also, it'd be a little bit foolhardy for me to try to compete with him. I'm not even really going to do that. So yeah, I'm going to back down to push and then go neutral at the end of this lap. Look at that, 8.1. So I'm driving great. I just don't want to push anything. And there is DeGraff with the crash. Hopefully, I do not join the crash party. Okay, definitely got to back off now for Saarinen. In 4th. And a couple second lead on Oliveira there for him. So we're bracketing Chapman here. DeGraff, not a competitor, but already out of the race. 8.3. Wexler is just tearing it up. Holding off Chapman even with the tires. So tires being better for Chapman. Or yeah, Ultras that the Steinman team is going with. You can see their tires definitely wearing faster than mine, and again, I think they may have to change before the rain, and I don't think we will. So I'm hoping that we don't. Okay, and Wexler's tires starting to get hot, so we're definitely going to move down to neutral and just let them cool off pretty much all the way now. 8.5 now on the form. Still losing ground to Holtz, but not as quickly as I was. .6. So I think I'm just going to settle in here. And of course, if we were to stay in 2nd and 3rd, we can see that that 9-point lead for Chapman would drop to 7. Saarinen would be up to 4th, Holtz up to 5th. And I'd be happy with that result. Wexler now pulling away from Chapman, despite only using neutral settings. I'm really, really happy with that. Holtz, though, definitely looks like she's got the best car. She's still pulling away. So, I think everybody's going to be chasing Nina Holtz. Unless something changes there, Dieter Wexler's aiming for 2nd. Ahead of Chapman, of course. And Saarinen holding well in 4th. So he's no slouch at all. He's racing quite well. Wexler very well, though not quite as good as he was in the first few laps. But still, 8.1, that's amazing. So just don't crash like you did last time, buddy. And the tire's now half gone for the Steinman guys. Well, we're sitting at about 2/3 of ours left. Looks like, if anything, the water's coming a bit sooner than they thought, and yeah, looks like it's probably going to taper off right in the intermediate zone. So I definitely think our change is going to be to inters. And now Wexler, because of the tire situation, is starting to make up some of that ground on Holtz. Over 3-second lead against Chapman. Saarinen actually pulling away just a bit from Oliveira. So, very solid in these 2nd and 4th positions right now. Now I'm actually closer to Holtz than Chapman, which is great. May not be quite the perfect storm start we got in Milan, but it's really good. Really good. We're feeling good about ourselves. Our tire's now down to half. Holtz and Chapman are really going to be hurting for tire wear starting about now. As long as they stay out there, we should do well comparatively. Got about a 5-second gap now, almost 5. Wexler to Chapman. The bigger that gets, the better off I'm definitely going to be. Holt's just really, really impressive. Clearly the best car in the field. Now they're starting to really struggle. We're catching up and going to go in the pit. So Dieter Wexler is going to take the lead here. And let's see what Holtz comes out on. Chapman's staying out there. Yep, Holtz is going to go to inters, but she's going to have to run on dry tires for a few laps. We should gain some serious time there. Schmidt gets a penalty. There was a collision there of some kind. I didn't quite catch who it was. You see Chapman is really in trouble now with the tire wear. And he's going into the pits. So now we've got the top 2 spots. And basically we're just trying to last long enough until the rain comes. Got, I don't have that many laps more on these tires, but I'm thinking it's going to be enough. Maybe. I'm actually going to back off now and conserve the tire wear, so I have a decent amount left in them. I hope, when the rain shows up. Might want to check in with our park condition. Looking pretty good. It's early. It's only a third of the way through the race. Ooh, that suspension for Saarinen is not great. May have to do a fix there. Look at Wexler, 8.8. 10-second lead against everybody. See, Holtz and Chapman already burning through their inters a fair amount. And here comes the rain. Not very heavy yet. Just a question of how long to stay out, really. I think I'm going to try to make it around. I'm going to shift back up to neutral. I'm going to try to make it around one more lap. .9. Yep, I think this is, excuse me, this is definitely the time to do it. Just going to switch to inters. Parts are fine. And yeah, Wexler at 98%, so we didn't quite hit 99, but he's driving so well. Saarinen, you can come in behind him as well. And be interesting to see where we come out in the field here. But, yeah, both drivers just throwing down an amazing performance here. You can see, where's Chapman? Chapman's at 5'9", Holtz at 6'9". I've literally got the best two drivers in the field in terms of their form compared to their standard abilities. So that's just a fantastic showing right now. And Wexler down to second. Ultimately, Oliveira ahead. Temporary situation. Liepinen behind, but yeah, as it gets wetter out here, they're going to be in trouble. They're going to go in. We're going to want to be on inters for pretty much the rest of the race here, I think. From what I can see, anyway. So, there's no need to be in any hurry. We're going to want to get as much out of these tires as we can, so I'm just going to let it ride. Saarinen right behind Holtz and ahead of Chapman. So hopefully he can stay ahead of Chapman, who is currently in 7th. 9.3, wow. And about to take the lead, even without Oliveira pitting. There we go. Wexler back in front. Just keep churning on, man. Saarinen up to 4th. Ahead of Surikov. Still out there on these soft tires. Chapman not far behind him. He can push the tires, though. Just push your tires a little more. We're going to have to increase the heat on them eventually anyway. Just waiting on Wexler. 9.4. This is ridiculous. He is just running away with this race right now. There's Saarinen defending his spot from Chapman. And you know, I'm probably going to have to do repairs on him later, but I don't care. I'm boosting him up. I want him to stay ahead of Chapman. I don't want to leave Chapman any room for free running. The lower he finishes, the happier I'm going to be. Low 50s on some of the parts, and we're not even to the halfway point. So we're definitely not going to be pushing anytime soon with Wexler. And the nice thing about being in front is I don't have to. I could just relax, work my way around the grid. Nothing but open space in front of me. Probably something like 20 seconds ahead to Vidal in last place in terms of lapping anybody. That'll eventually become a thing, but not for a while. Saarinen now pulling away from Chapman some. Let's back off again. And Wexler is, yeah, Holtz's tires are getting real worn, so Wexler pulling away again. She's going to have to pit again. There she goes. Everything working out swimmingly for us as we approach the halfway point here. If we maintain first and second, we would see Saarinen up to 3rd overall in the standings. And Wexler would drop that point differential down to just 5. Still wouldn't take the points lead, but he'd be in a heck of a position to do so at the end. And yeah, his tires are getting bad, so he's gotta put some more heat into the tires. And there goes Chapman in. Saarinen will probably do some repairs his next time in, but until then he's just going to cruise around. "15 seconds lead and growing." Lipinen making ground on Saarinen. Probably won't be able to pass him though, I wouldn't think, before he has to come in. And we're going to back off on Wexler for a couple more laps. Just get as much as we can out of these tires before they hit the danger zone. We're up 32 seconds on Holtz, 35 on Chapman. Definitely among the leading drivers, but look at that, 9.6. Unreal. Now see our weather through to the end of the race. And yeah, looks like there's going to be just enough water on there that we're going to want to stick with intermediates. That it's going to be just a little bit better than using the harder tires, I think, although we get the 15% bonus on the harder ones. If other drivers switch to dry tires, then maybe we'll do that. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's just going to be inters all the way here. 9.7. And coming up on Woodford now. Oh, we did pass Woodford, actually. So we have now lapped one car. And we could go around again, but I don't see any reason. Let's come in. This is the time for it. And we're going to need to do 2 more stops. This one and one more. So we're going to be looking to get about 12 laps out of these tires. May run them a little harder for that reason. Both of our cars, top 2, going to come in. And I don't think the suspension's going to survive another run. So we're going to have to take some time and fix that. At least it's not Wexler's suspension that's going kerfluffy. We need no screw-ups here. Beautiful. And we are not losing the lead. Lippanen close behind, but we stay in first. We're going to push the tires on both of them. And I want to get a handle on how much the wear is going to be per lap. Make sure that's the right choice. So Wexler's going to start this next lap at 95 on his tires. Well, it just turned to 94. Yeah, I don't think we can quite afford to push them the whole time, but we're going to probably do a mix of pushing and being neutral on the tires. We're not going to be trying to keep the tire temp super low. Wow, 9.9. Wow. Not going to try to keep the temp super low. We're going to be willing to keep them in a middle to upper range here. Probably alternate, you know, maybe 3 laps pushing, 3 laps in neutral, that kind of thing. Saarinen's got a decent gap at the moment. He's got to worry about traffic more, so I'm just going to back off there. Definitely want to keep Wexler. That's the other thing, too. He's going to be going through slower traffic. So going neutral, 10.0. Well, that's as good as it gets. He is literally in the zone. But I'm going to watch. You can see we've got, from the mini-map there, we've got a decent gap. That's closing quickly, but we've got a gap up to the 17th place car. So I think I want him to push his tires when he's trying to get through traffic, but not when he's got room in front of him like this. And Lippanen behind him is going to have to get new tires soon. North went into the pits, creating more room, but now we're going to come up on Moreno before long. And right now, really, we're just hoping to avoid disaster, knock on wood, because at any time, we could get hit. But yeah, now we want to boost it. But at any time, you know, the crash situation that happened last year, that's what we want to avoid. And there we go. We're by. We're going to go back down to neutral. Looks like 11 through 15 spaced out relatively evenly up ahead here. Holtz is gaining. Slowly, but she's gaining. But I think that, you know, when she had to go in early because of her tires and switch to inters on the dry track, I think that basically ruined her chances. We do still have 15 laps to go, but we should be able to hold that off. Yep, we got some stuff in the low 40s. So we could push at the end if we need to, probably. Oh boy, and Wexler turning into a human now, back down to only 9.5. And Holt's starting to fade, with her tires wearing out. Presuming that's the reason. So Vasquez picking a good time to go into the pits, creating a little more space for us. 13 and 14 there. Flores and Gonzalez will be coming up soon. And, nope, not going to do that, but I am going to push here because soon we've only got like maybe 2-3 laps, and we're going to want to come in. Might as well get a little bit of extra speed out of the tires because we're going to want to come in soon for our final change. And there's Chapman going into the pit, which for what I assume will be his final turnaround. Sarnen, his fastest lap of the day. And we're by the 14th place car of Gonzalez now. 13 cars left on the lead lap. And this is it. It's time to come in. I could wait longer, of course, but that would just be using more of mostly worn down tires versus getting fresh ones. Don't need to fix anything. I just want to stay solid through the end. And there's Sarnen now past pit row and on to lap 43 in 4th place. He'll come in. Rear wing is dodgy, but I think he can make it. I'm going to avoid any more part repairs for him as well. Definitely won't be able to push him nearly as much though. Now Lippinen, a possible threat there, less than 20 seconds back. Be interesting to see where we come out here. No mistakes. Last pit stop. That's huge. And we're still coming out ahead of Lippinen, but we're definitely going to want to push first. Yes, I know you do. But I don't want to... Why struggle with something when you don't have to? So, we'll pull away from Lippinen here, and the question is... Sarnen gradually going back in the pack now, down back to 8th, but yeah, Lippinen might be able to go the distance on those tires, might not. I'm definitely going to have fresher tires the rest of the way, should be able to pull away. Chapman up to 3rd. So, currently a 5-point gap. If these positions hold, final 10 laps of the race, it's looking good. Wexler's form fading, but still outstanding. Sarnen really looking very good as well. Gonna back off his tires some. Yeah, just not comfortable pushing at that point. Wexler now going to start lapping some people again. Splitting a pair of cars and seemingly becoming one with one of them. And now let's back off on the tires so we've got room to repeat that procedure. Looks like 15 through 17 ahead of us. Moreno, North, Lundqvist are Yeah, they're within about a 2-second period of each other. So let's have a little bit of tires to use when we get to that point. And boost for a bit with Saarinen, get some more speed. Yep, that rear wing definitely taking a bit of a hit as well for Wexler. Of course, that's one of the parts that we do not have upgraded yet. And here we go. It's time to make some passes. Back off a bit for the moment. And then, yeah, North, the only car left now for quite a ways. It's a good ways there up to block. So, Sharp went in, Saarinen gaining a spot to 7th. Remains to be seen if anybody else will have to go in. And Leipinen 3 seconds plus behind Wexler. So as long as that gap remains, I'm going to be pretty happy with things. Of course, since I haven't had a push much, I've got all kinds of extra fuel sort of slowing me down. But I'm just going to live with that. It's really a luxury that is not always there. And 5 laps now to go. Wexler continuing to not race quite as well as he was earlier. Same with Saarinen. We're probably fairly locked in our positions here. 7th, not as good as Saarinen has run in the last few races. But a lot of that is that suspension issue. If you take away those 7.7 seconds, he's fighting with Oliveira for 5th, basically. So that is not a problem. 4 laps to go, over a 4-second lead. Really not seeing any big problems here. Well, under 4 seconds now. Leipinen, of course, probably going all out to try to make something of this. Chapman down to just 8 seconds behind. And Saarinen dropping to 8th as Sharp passes him up. Three laps to go. Alright. You can push now. Wexler about to lap north here, just before she heads into the pits. Blanc would be next, but I don't know that we're quite going to get there with 2 laps to go. And Leipinen does come in, which gives Chapman second place, which I could have done without. So that means we're only going to gain 2 points again. It's going to drop down to a 7-point gap. Be nice if Chapman would just have one miserably lousy race where everything goes against him. He hasn't been doing great, but if he could have just a terrible, lousy, stinking race, I would love that. Gain a few more points. Not happening yet. It doesn't look like Saarinen's going to be able to, well, go all out, buddy. But it doesn't look like Saarinen's going to be able to get above 7th. And here we go. For the second race in a row, Dieter Wexler about to take the checkered flag. Champagne time indeed. And of course, we can't control what Harry Chapman does. All we can control is our part of it. Saarinen reasonably happy with a 7th place finish. Would have been at least 6th without the repair, but, you know, 7th is there. So, obviously a good race here for Scuderia Rossini, and more importantly, I've finally gotten past the block here at Vancouver. Wolfgang Schmidt with a drive-through penalty for causing a collision, I believe. That's about it. So we get a 7-second win over Chapman. Holtzen 3rd. Then the Windsor Racing drivers, Oliveira and Lipinen, Saarinen down in 7th. 12 cars on the lead lap with Dieter Wexler. Steinman forced to settle for 2nd and 3rd place. And there we are, 7-point gap now. We're crushing the rest of the field. Nilo Saarinen remains in 5th. With 2 races to go. We did lose a bit of ground in the standings. But, team standings, rather. Iker Vidal felt like we could have won it today. No. Yes, he's being carried by Scuderia Rossini. Fine. I don't care. As long as he wins. Griffin Clark drops relationship there. That's interesting. No change to our marketability or happiness over here. Yeah, 8.8 and 7.0. So both drivers really getting it done, especially Wexler, of course. Vancouver in the books, and we finally have a positive outlook going forward. We are going to proceed for the first time to Phoenix, where the engine is crucial. Another track is going to favor Chapman and Steinman. The suspension is crucial, and we're not going to get to that before then, but we should have a new rear wing. Another vital part, so that should help us there. One would hope. But that will come next time. When we proceed towards Phoenix, only 2 races to go. We'll see if Wexler can overcome Chapman. Until then, thanks for watching. We'll be back soon.